Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, I didn't see it coming. Most guys usually don't. I get an email here from a viewer, and he says, "Hey Coach, I've been following your work for a couple of months, and it's really helped me a lot. So keep up the great work." He says, "So like you say, now I'm writing you because not everything has been great in my life." Yeah, it's like people don't come to me because everything is fucking hunky-dory in their life. They come to me because something is out of fucking whack. He says, "I started dating this smoking hot girl like 4 months ago. All this happened before I found out about your work. So everything was going okay, but very slowly. First of all, because I didn't go for the kiss on the first date." He says, "I know, my bad. So I went on the second one, and I get the kiss." He said, "So later that night, she sent me a text telling me how much she enjoyed our evening together and stuff like that. But later on in the week, she was all jammed up by work and saying, and well, I say it's okay." He says, "I'm a doctor, so I'm very busy too most of the time. But I was doing extra effort in order to see this girl because I really liked her." Yeah, you were chasing her, and you, in essence, assumed the role of the woman in the relationship. And when a guy does that, it never gives a woman time and space away to wonder, to think, when she's thinking about 2 or 3 other guys that she's dating, "Oh, do I like him more? Do I like him more?" Women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. It's a scientific fact. And so if she's smoking hot, she's probably got lots of options, and she's going to choose the least needy option. And so the more you chase, the more you pursue, the more she's going to be available or unavailable and busy. Stuff's going to come up. She's going to be jammed up. That's what happens. He says, "And so we set a date for later. We went out to dinner as usual and had a great time together. But the problem started later as she was getting busier at work. And well, I started to become impatient. So I decided to stop dating this girl because I didn't see that she was putting too much effort. And well, I did something stupid by doing so by text. So I never hear from her again as expected. Until one day I found out about your stuff and started dating other girls. So one day I decided to call this girl because I really wanted to get another shot with her. And I read your book, and so I thought, why not? So let's see how it goes this time." So I call and ask her for a date, and she says yes. So long story short, we started dating again, but for my bad luck, she took another job, and so she was more busy than ever before. So I took it easy. I sent her a text every week, as you say, no chatting on the phone. I didn't even call her. I just text her to set the next date, and so that's the way it went for the next 2 months. And after we started dating again, he says, "I must remark that I was always going for the kiss. So we had some nice time and some hot kissing sessions almost every time we see each other, but no sex due to her moral standards. So okay, I respected that. So as time went by, trying not to set dates with her was harder and harder because she was always so busy at work. So when we meet up, she was always late." He says, "I'm not talking about 15 minutes late. I'm talking like 30 to 40 minutes late. And you continued to go out with her and go along with this, which just basically enabled her behavior and in essence taught her that she can jerk you around like this and you're just going to put up with it because it's obvious. You said so yourself. You really like this girl." And that is where the problem is. And I say this in my book. You have to treat all women the same. And that's where I used to go wrong in my 20s, is that I go out with a girl that I really liked, and I do exactly what you're describing here. You really like the girl, and so you got to be extra nice to her. You got to give her extra leeway. It's like you cut her way more slack than you would anybody else, and like you give the girl an inch, and she takes a mile. Why? Because she's hot, and she's used to getting her way. He says, "So I took it like a little bitch and never said anything about it." He says, "And I also forgot to mention that I never received text from her telling me how much she misses me or how much she enjoyed the dinner, etc." Yeah, it sounds like she's hot and she's selfish and she's spoiled. And so she's used to skating on her looks. There are women that are like that. He says, I think I only get one text this time and I never give her a present. He says, I know no presents. She was not my girlfriend, but big fuck up. So now you're buying her gifts. He says, and so my birthday comes early November and I did not receive even a text from her on that special day. So man, that sucks. Yeah, it just communicates she didn't care about you. You're buying her stuff and she doesn't even bother to text you on your birthday. That communicates low interest. And so you're basically dating this girl because you really have the hots for her, and you're completely ignoring the fact that she's not reciprocating at all. He says, so I text her the next day and say this to her. So it was my birthday yesterday, and she replied almost immediately, oh, I was about to call you right now. You got to be psychic. Great coincidence, huh? It's like, yeah, what a coinky dink. And so she said, hey, I bought you a present, so great, I thought. Well, at least she got me something. So we agreed to meet up, like very quick, her fucking job again, only for her to give me the present. So we meet up, and I notice her a little bit more cold than usual. So I asked her, hey, baby, what's up? Talk to me. Is everything okay? And she basically started dating some other dude 4 days later and told me she was too busy at work. And the thing is, you say I didn't see it coming. It's like, I see it a mile a fucking way, dude. I mean, everything that you shared with me is you're doing all the pursuing. And see, here's the thing. Like I talk about in my book, there's certain strategic moments that you need to back off when you notice that the woman's not making the effort. But instead of backing off because you really like this girl, you give her a lot of extra leeway. You figure, oh, I got to try harder to be with her. And so she's, you keep mentioning how she's always busy at work. Well, it just means that she just really wasn't that excited to see you. And so if you call a girl and she's like, I'm kind of busy, I can't make it, I'd wait 2 weeks to call her and then ask her to do something. It's like no matter how much time went in between the two of you talking, don't you notice that there's never any like, oh my God, I haven't heard from you. I wondered what happened to you. It's like we were going out and all of a sudden I haven't heard from you in a month. There was none of that. Why? Because she didn't care. And so more than likely, this girl probably was just going out with you because it was better than staying at home looking at the four walls. And you say you so yourself, you're a doctor, so I would assume that you are not broke as a joke. And so you're probably taking her nice places, doing nice things with her. And she's very beautiful. And so she's used to being spoiled by men who have too much more money than sense. And so she's kind of, at this point in her life, come to expect it. And so that's the thing. I mean, initially you realize, hey, this girl's not making any effort. And you're like, fuck this. And so you walked away. And you notice that she never called you. She never texted you to find out what happened to you or why you stopped calling. Why? Because she didn't care. And that's where you ignored reality. And this is what a lot of guys do. They only focus on their interests and they completely ignore the fact that the girl's not reciprocating it. And so here you are, you've allowed yourself to kind of fall for this girl. Several months have gone by and she's not making any more effort than when she first met you. Why? Because she doesn't fucking care. And so going forward, I'd say the lesson here for you to learn is that you got to look at what a woman does. And this girl wasn't showing any signs that she was really into you. And plus, when it came to expressing affection, it was always you initiating it. And oh, by the way, the reason she wouldn't sleep with you is because of her moral standards. I'd say that's probably a little suspect as well. Probably the real reason she didn't sleep with you is because she just wasn't feeling it. And so she saved the sex for the other guys that she was hanging out and hooking up with. So my advice to you is just move on and chalk it up as a learning experience. Because when you go out with a girl that really likes you, she'll make the effort. She'll reciprocate. And this girl, it just, you went out with her and you realize that it's like a black hole. It's like the more you give, nothing ever seems to come back. So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max. And just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that will take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, just download one of their free e-reader apps for whatever electronic device you want to read it on. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, the articles on my website, and my ebook, you can show your appreciation right now by going to my website, and on the Weebly toolbar at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.